Mm. Sukuria, takikirioria, kokuria, shaya kunkukuria, shaya kuya. Let's make sure this is turned up. Turn that up. It almost feels funny coming on because I haven't been coming on live, but I feel really guided to come live tonight. And like right before I was coming, and as I was writing on the live description, I was writing unity and collaborating with the Jesus goddess God within us, and my whole body, I could just feel it, like this kind of opening up. Oh, so I don't have any particular candle. I just went and grabbed a little votive or tea light. I just follow my intuition. And I felt I was supposed to get the red one, and that red one represents that they're saying Kundalini rising. So a lot of us might be undergoing that Kundalini rising, that root chakra, that opening up. And they're showing me a swirling, but yet, grounding. It's like whatever I was doing there at the beginning. Kuriya ariyaka kuriya. So they're just showing me this ariyata kiyariyata ka kuriya. Ariyata ariyata kariyanyata kuriya. So there's some opening up and some releasing. And Spirit is saying, aren't we always releasing? It's Eric. He's going, aren't you guys always releasing? Aren't you always releasing those ancestral patterns, cycles, the connection to the bloodlines? They're saying the bloodlines. We're clearing, opening, and purifying our bloodlines. And what they're saying, kunya nia takaria kakunya, tariaya nyo kakania takuya. So there's an opening, a clearing, and a purification in our bloodlines. And this is directly connected to our root chakra, they're saying. Definitely wasn't coming on to even say that. So thank you, Spirit. Shaya torianta kikikiro uriatasi nia. They want me to hold the candle. They, higher self, our collective light. That's what I always call on, and that is my intent. It isn't they as in something separate from us. It is a collective collaboration of the Jesuses and goddesses within us coming together, merging collectively, and the masters. And I did ask, I'm like, should I go in the temple or should I go to the masters? I haven't been really going on. And they said, no, you gotta go in the masters group. You gotta go in the masters. So I'm like, okay. So we have a very specific collaboration in the unity of Jesus and the God and goddesses within us. And I'm asking, what's the difference between Jesus and the God and goddesses within us? And Jesus is representative of that oh my God, it's so beautiful. Jesus the master's here. I feel it so strongly. And the difference is between the two is Jesus' representation. His physical life was representation of the life, the journey that we are partaking as masters, choosing, cultivating, embodying in the physical body, reality, that unconditional love, grounding. Oh, that's why they wanted the red candle, the grounding and the clearing and the releasing. Holy crap. I don't know if I just sucked in. Sorry, a spark. Go figure. A lot of, sorry, I grated some ginger, fresh ginger in my water with my lemon. Sorry, you know how strong ginger can get. Sorry, guys. And whoever's here, thank you. Oh, I shouldn't have taken the water. It's got like big pieces of ginger. I'm not sure what the ginger represents spiritually, but I felt compelled to grate ginger in my lemon water with my Celtic sea salts. All right. Sorry, guys. So Jesus is showing me. He's patting me on my back. He's patting me. He's burping me. Get it all out, he says. You get it all out. And that is also to do with that releasing and that purifying. So Jesus came as that model. He's even saying shepherd, a shepherd for us, to guide us to opening up and connecting, living and embodying that unconditional love that he came to show the way. He's saying he's not separate. He is our brother. They're saying brethren. And so Jesus is representative of that human physical journey, God's self, God giving his only son. So a higher aspect of you, the bigger part of you, fractalized to have this human experience, much like he did, he says. So you sacrificed, gave yourself, the totality of you, this gift of being human for the experience. There's a lot going on. I'm trying to decipher the best way to phrase it. To walk with Jesus, because I was like questioning, okay, walk with, be an example of. I was trying to find the right verbiage, and Jesus is reminding us that there really is no time. It's all frequency. So when one is ready, the walk is presently now. Even though we may perceive the story of Jesus being born in Bethlehem as a past event, it is a frequency that it represents. It is the birthing. It is the revealing of this purity, of this innocence, of this Christ consciousness in the physical, a gift of God. And you know how it goes, is gave his only son to human. He says that we have not been taught, we diminish the birth of our own human life, that we gave our higher self, the bigger part of ourself, that is one with God, gave us as well. We needed the idea then at that frequency of that separation. But he is, he wants us to recognize that we are not any lesser than, and us coming to earth and being born, and for our path, for our journey in this frequency of unconditional love is not lesser than. It's not to be dismissed. It is not irrelevant from his path. So again, Jesus is one with us, walking that path with us. Even though from a certain frequency, we perceive him with the idea of separation, he came before us. But past, present, and future is really now. And how you perceive that journey is dependent on the frequency you're embodying, or that your soul has come to play out in this moment of now. Now, the God and Goddess within, so it's a collaboration and a unity of the God and Goddess within. That is more your personal imprint of this unconditional love. The God and Goddess within you is a collaboration. It is a merging of all the yous operating of the highest frequency, so to speak. It is your personal God Goddess experience of Jesus. That is so cool. So the God and Goddess within you is your personal experience, the unfolding multidimensionally of this Christ energy. Wow, that is so, wow, this is so cool. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. All right. So I'm just getting back to me now, not necessarily channeling, but I am. Oh my God, I don't know why. There's some frequencies here that make me silly. I always get silly when I come live. Okay. So my personal experience of this Christmas season has definitely been full of challenges, right? Because I got all the kids home. There's these crazy ass roller coaster dynamics. Like this past month, I've had all I could do almost to survive. I did not have it in me to, do my normal me. Just, share all of the messages and doing lives. I've had to really go on this roller coaster of a lot of surfacing of stuff, light. They're saying this. They're showing me this little red candle again. Oops. A rising and a releasing of bloodline, meaning physical. Oh my God, this gets tricky. So the bloodline is the spiritual aspect of the physical connections. So blood in general, Jesus, drink of my wine, that's representative of his blood, the spirit. But the blood too is the spiritual ancestry as it plays out in the physical experiences. So I've been having to go through that a lot. So, and I love that because wherever I am taken to, those darker, uncomfortable stuff that arises or is triggered with the dynamics of family, it doesn't always feel good, but I always come out, filled with more light, wiser. That's where all my messages, or when I do little TikToks or messages or even come live, it always comes, it's so funny, it always comes from the darkness. But the dark is no different than the light because they coexist. So I was talking to Bob last night or the other night, and he isn't one that wants to grow or expand. You guys know. He wants to live like just steady. And I'm like, yeah, I would like that too. I don't want to have to go deep. I don't want to have to experience all of that. But I says it's been a much harder journey for you in the physical because you don't have necessarily that anchor or the belief or that faith in God that I do that carries me, where it is harder, I think, for a non-believer because they don't have that faith or anchor. And he'll say he has faith. He does believe that everything turns out for the good. So that is beautiful. But if you don't have that anchor or that knowledge or that wisdom of what the light is, what Jesus is, what God is, who you are, I think that journey is much, much harder for a non-believer. And so from that perspective, they don't want to experience that. But from a believer, a chosen one, they know, even though it doesn't feel good or you go through certain things, healings, things have to surface in order to heal, to bring you into a greater embodiment of light. It always feels good after. It always feels good after. It's almost like when you exercise or I go for a run. I might not feel like it, but oh my God, it always feels good after. So same with spiritual growth and the challenges we go through. It always feels good after if you don't get, you stay there as long as you need to stay there, right? You stay there as long as you need to, but when you have that faith and that belief in that light, like the chosen ones do, that frequency, that relationship, that's the word, relationship, because everybody is God's source energy, right? Everybody has Jesus that lives within them, but not everyone has that relationship. And again, that relationship is not different than the relationship to our own light, but some people, earlier in our journey, like that outer reflection of Jesus or saints or gurus and teachers. We like that because we live in a physical world. It gives us an opportunity to engage in a mirror of our own energy in a real way. So that journey's been harder, I think, for him. And I did say I don't want that either, because when I'm in that, oh my God, I don't want to be there. But yet I thank it simultaneously. It's this and that. I thank it. I don't want to be there. I don't feel good, but I thank it, and I know those energies are serving me. So my point is, we've gone through a lot of roller coasters. Christmas time and holidays always are, you have these spikes up, you're really happy, but then maybe something triggers or something happens, at least for me in this season with family dynamics. It's been really, really crazy. It's brought stuff to the surface of maybe my own self-doubt or questioning and doubting maybe my paths and all of that. And that's good. That's a beautiful thing, because in the end, what happens is it's okay. It's all good in the end. Then you're shown, yeah, you were right where you needed to be. You did right what you needed to do. But sometimes you get like this overwhelming darkness where others, even though there is no other, will trigger those doubts or those worries or those, not trusting or whatever it is, unworthiness, whatever it is, self-criticism, judgment, whatever it is, to whatever level. It can go really, really thick and deep, or it can just be little darts, you know what I mean? So we've had to experience that. And Jesus is stepping in, and he said that journey was no different than for me. Remember, he was judged, he was criticized, he had his doubts, like the time, that famous line in Gethsemane, the garden, where he said, Father, why have you forsaken me? Meaning he kind of had that loss for a minute, that disconnect, that real human, raw feeling of like, man, are you there? Are you really there, God? Or what have I done? Or, you know, those feelings. And he was, he says, I was in drama with those close to me as well, meaning other family or extended family, friends in the community, right? Remember, he had to go out of his own community even. He wasn't accepted in his own town or community. He had to go out. So Jesus, as the example, shows us and shares in that journey with us. And all of those experiences cultivate our personality, the gods and the goddesses within us. He's saying it cultivates us. We all go through those struggles and challenges. How we deal with them is different and individual based on other aspects of ourselves that are no two are the same. And that cultivates the gods and goddesses, the personalities, the archetypes that we connect with and that we embody. Whether it's fire, water, air, earth, cosmos, galactics, those energies are cultivated, created through those challenges, through those healings, through those revelations of our own personal journey. Very beautiful. So something really cool today. Thank you guys who are there. It looks like Indiava, Wild Blue. I don't see anybody else. Thank you guys for joining. So me and Mythos were outside and we went for a little run, even though it was freaking 15 or 20 degrees outside. And I'm like, it's going to be fresh. It's going to feel good. And Mythos was like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And I'm like, come on, let's bundle up. We'll go. You always feel better after. But I had to get Caleb some ibuprofen or acetaminophen because he hurt his back in the gym. And I said, you go ahead of me, Mythos, and I'll catch up. And I didn't realize how, because I don't let him go on, even though we live on a private dirt road, there's still cars and stuff, and he's usually oblivious. But I said, you go ahead, and I'll catch up with you in a minute. And I'm like, holy crap. And I always give him my phone to listen to music as he's running. We kind of do an interval running, walk. And he was out of sight. And then I started getting a little worried because, you know, he's oblivious. So I tried to catch up to him as fast as I could. And it took me a while. And I'm like, wow, Mythos. But right as I was catching up to, I caught up to him. I says, wow, how'd you go so fast? And he goes, I'm so excited. I love the outside. And I'm like, why? And he goes, I feel so alive. And I was stunned. I did a little mini TikTok on it. I'm like, you feel so alive. And when we are outside, wherever we see the sun, we always connect. I always do the cross breath with him, have him connect to that eternal love and light that he is. And I always tell him, this is a reflection of your light, Mythos. It's a reflection. It just gives you that symbol, that connection. And anyways, I thought it was really beautiful the way he did connect with his own emotional state and physical body He says, I feel so alive. And then as I was running back with him, and I know this is common sense and we know this intuitively, but it really helped me to connect the dots. Like, that is what Mother Earth does for us. She makes us feel alive, balanced, healed, infused with love and light, because she is the representation of our own balance, peace, rejuvenation, healing, right? But what is Mother Earth? Raw, real, authentic, right? So he was feeling alive, and I always feel alive because we're connecting with our own authenticity, right? And that is the connection where we do feel alive, our own authenticity, as we peel back all those layers, as we heal all of those ancestral conditioning or energies within us, as we bring them to the surface and can say, oh, this is the truth of it. We can set that free and we feel alive. Or someone who finally speaks their truth, or someone who takes their own path, they feel alive because they're connecting to their authentic self, which is the Jesus, the unconditional love, and it's expressed through their God and Goddess within them. So I just love the way he helped me make that connection. Is Mother Earth represents our authenticity, and until we are connected and living and embodying our authenticity, which is our truth, that is where our freedom lies. And life is in freedom. It's not in chains. It's not in wearing all these masks. It's not following another person's path or ideals or beliefs, even though we need to do that at times in order to open up and connect to our authenticity. So I just really love that. And I'm like, Mythos, so next time Mommy says we're going to go for a little run, remember how alive you feel. So anyways, I really try to connect him to the outside, which is really a connection to his inside. You know what I mean, guys? So I just thought, I just wanted to share that because I thought it was really beautiful, and it made me see how Mother Earth, like, you know how we're always called to go outside grounding or connect to the trees, in the cold air. That'll wake you up quickly. But I wasn't cold. It felt really good. Just got to dress for it. So we feel so alive with Mother Earth because I just love the way that she's raw and real, but that's also representative of our authenticity. So I just thought that was really cool. So I just wanted to share that. And obviously that's not the only way we have to go about that, but I just thought it was kind of cool. I don't see any comments yet. Oh, there we go. Anything else? So yeah, I have not gone live much. I'll check into the masters a little bit here and there, and periodically I'll do a TikTok just because I've had so many like this, a lot of those kind of. So Chantal, my oldest, and Caleb, my oldest, are under the same roof, and they go at it like nothing you've ever seen, but I know that they are demonstrating to me some bloodlines or ancestral energies that are being called to surface within my own self. So what I realized, one other thing I want to share is the more we try to stop that outside reflection from expressing, we're actually stunting our own healing. And it's not that we need to put up with like toxicity or abuse or emotions or verbally or whatever, or witness all of it. But when we are, and when we have no way out, when we try to fight it, that causes resistance to our own healing. So I notice the more if I try to tell them what not to do, the worse it is. So sometimes things need to be played out, not for me to offer unsolicited guidance or advice. I mean, obviously speak up when you need to. You don't want things to get carried too far out of hand. But what I really realize is a lot of times when people are expressing, including myself, I will sometimes stunt that expression due to my own unhealing or judgments or energy. So I'm really practicing trying not to respond or to react. Even in sharing, like, even with my husband, certain things, like I had a discussion and I said, wow, I feel like whenever I express, you use it against me. You take whatever I say and use it against me. And that's just, a reflection of some energies that came to my witness and my awareness that made me contemplate, now, how do I do that? I do that sometimes. I do that, or I'll try to take the energy and filter it to come across as guidance or advice. So just one other thing that I really learned lately this past week is when people are expressing, I personally need to not respond or react and just give them that space. And then sometimes the more I try to see them something that they're not ready for, the more resistant it causes. And I know this is common sense, but like I really had it play out really strongly for myself because I was shown that. I felt that. So I had to experience that in order to know that. So I know it's really hard sometimes holding that center in that space without reacting. But those areas where we feel the need to react or respond to something someone else is expressing, wherever we feel the need to interject or to justify or to change their mind, we need to ask ourselves, why is it that I feel this way? Why am I triggered, or why do I feel compelled to change how they're expressing or what they're saying? Unless it's like a conversation and everybody is all for it. There are times where things are triggered within me and I feel I need to pretty much say, no, that's not right. No, that's not how it is. But I got to learn to just keep the space. And then obviously, if things are like crazy, like Chantel and Caleb going at it, or they're yelling, but they're coming to me and complaining about one another, I got to just kind of remove myself. So obviously every situation requires something different, but the point is I'm learning not to like respond and react, even thinking I'm doing good, because that creates more resistance for one that isn't ready, as we already know all that. But also when someone is sharing, not to use it against them. Like someone will say to me, or say one of my kids say, oh, I really want to do this. Instead of just letting them express, letting them have that open space and not say, well, you tried that before and you really could do this. And why didn't you do that last time? So that takes something that someone is sharing and expressing from a new frequency, not the old one. And then if we use it against them, even though we might think it's well-meaning, a lot of times it's also just showing us something within ourselves that still is imbalanced or needs attention as well. I don't know if that made sense, but anyways, I thought that I would just pull a few cards, and I already did them before I came on to save time. I don't see any comments. I do see a few people. So whoever is there, thank you for joining. And those who watch later, thank you. And if anyone is there who wants to come on, like always, you can. But yeah, I only see Gina and Wild Blue. So thank you guys if you're there, and hope you're having an awesome, peaceful, harmonious holiday. But we can't have one without the other sometimes, right? All right. So I was going to do, I was going to come on in the truck one day while I was waiting for Mythos, but obviously it wasn't timing yet. So I have this angels, gods, and goddesses. So I'm going to just pull one collective. And I already pulled them with the intent of whoever watches now or later, that it is resonantial for them as well. A healing, because we're going through a lot of healing. And that's what the miracle of Christmas is about. It's about that healing. And healing is that love being, it's almost like, I felt like when I went to a service this morning, I felt like I was washed with love, like I was baptized with love. I felt great self-acceptance. The way that the minister was talking, it made me realize, no. Like, because I was going through some times where I was thinking I was wrong, or, not a good person or whatever. And it just showed me the purity that I am. So the miracle of Christmas is to show us that unconditional love and the purity that you are. And how do we do that? We do release the old blood, stuff in our bloodlines. We're purifying them through our experiences now. And it's not that we weren't impure, but we hold these condensed energies that are impure, that we've come to free up through greater self-acceptance or through the miracle of love, rebirth, I just feel like it's a baptism in love, and that's self-acceptance. It's not that we need our wrongs taken away per se. It's that we need to see that we were never wrong. So I've been pulling a Healing Waters, and then of course my Mother Earth cards after that little story I told you today. So let's just see where we are and what we're healing. I'm gonna start with the Mother Earth card. This one came up. That's appropriate because it was freezing this morning, but we didn't have snow. But this one always, it's a little gathering of snow, and snow is crystallized water, and water is that purity, cleansing. But snow represents to me the manifestation of those emotions, things that we've been going through, healing of those experiences that we have in the physical. From the side view, there's a little face here. Oh, it looks different today. Oh, I usually see it from this face, where there's a little eye and nose and a mouth, and she's smiling. She's smiling. But on this side, when you look at this side, it's almost like maybe there was some throwing up or releasing of old energies. It almost looks like a little eye, like a little kid with like an old-fashioned cap, a hoodie that has a little cap on it. Can you guys see that? I've never seen this before. Like a little cap, or it could be a little eye and a bird. But what's standing out to me is the mouth is open, but there's some releasing truths, expression freely. Okay, so this is connected to what I was talking about, allowing ourselves and others the freedom of expression without using that information against them, but instead allowing your light to be that purification, just your witness, just demonstrating, witnessing it and even thanking those things that maybe even are pointed at you, saying, because I went through that a lot this month. I would sit in silence. It would hurt like hell. And I would just say, okay, thank you, God, for this experience. Thank you for this. I know it's serving me. Thank you for this experience. I just kept thanking it. And then it purified. It literally, it feels like shit, but I know I always feel better and gain what I need from it quicker. It's like pouring light into it when you're thanking something really difficult. So that to me is representing the releasing. Oh, here we go. This also looks like it too. It almost looks like if you face this way, a little kid, a little nose, mouth, and maybe he's crawling, maybe he's throwing up or spitting up. So to me, that's just representing things that we release, whether it's, beautiful feel-good things or whether it's just stuff that really feels like vomit. Either way, we got to release it to purify it. And then that brings us over here to this piece. She looks like an older, wiser person. This looks more like a baby crawling through and getting by the best they can, maybe spitting up a little bit. Because here's the hoodie, here's the little cap, there's the little chin, the mouth, the nose, and they look like they're crawling this way, but maybe spitting up. But over here, it looks like a mature person, nose, eyes, mouth, and they're facing this way. And there could have been some releasing too. Usually I see this as releasing, emotional releasing. So to me, that is definitely expression and emotions releasing, but bringing us to greater peace, which is healing. So healing brings peace, right? But we can't really get to that healing part until we surrender. So surrendering, we assist others healing when we don't use their words or their expression against them. When we create that space, when we surrender. So we heal through a surrendering, but it's not easy to surrender, because what do you need to do to surrender? You need to have a certain amount of trust, right? And so as you can trust in the surrendering, then what happens, and that brings us to greater peace. And the title of this card is Peace Be With You. When one can surrender to the moment, then change can occur. So when we surrender and we don't interject, when we allow those triggers, as we hold them in silence and surrender to the feelings and the emotions that come forth, that brings peace eventually. Surrendering removes resistance in order for the energy to flow. Baby, don't worry about spitting up. It just spits up when it needs to spit up. Right, Gina? Little, oh my God, not Sophia. Oh my God, I forgot her name. The angel. It'll come to me. Hold on. And flow to transform. So the surrendering to the releasing, allowing ourselves and others, that expression is the transformation. When you can be thankful for it, then that aids it. It's like adding this light to the transformation. Surrendering releases limitations for the expansion of you. That's what we're always expanding to. Ourself, our goddess and gods within us through Jesus's unconditional love. Surrendering brings forth bliss through total acceptance of self. So it brings us to a greater acceptance of self. When we can surrender to some emotional pain or something that's happening outside of us and hold that and say, thank you for it. I'm always shown or feeling the acceptance after I see the wisdom and the light of why it had to happen or why I needed to feel that or go through that. It always brings me to greater self-acceptance. And that's what Jesus did. He didn't come to condemn. He died on the cross, right? Jesus died on the cross. We come to experience our cross for the transformation into light. We surrender. Our cross represents our human challenges. And when we go through them and surrender and trust, it brings us to greater love and light, freedom, and self-expression, light, love of self. So that is about the healing and the acceptance and why we go through that process and what it brings us to greater peace and self-acceptance, which is embodying more love and light on this realm. So the healing waters, this is so appropriate. What is in a couple days what are we celebrating? The birth of Jesus. You can't make this up. How everything always is in sync no matter what. So here it is, that little newborn baby. As we allow ourselves, our processes, surrender to that pain, whatever it is we're going through. Now it looks like oh my gosh. So now it looks like a pointy nose. See the nose guy? There's an eye, and they're wearing a hat. Now it looks like they're blowing their nose. It looks like a nose, and they're blowing their nose. So weird. And I'm sniffly just because I got emotional earlier when Jesus comes through. So birth mysteries. Is that not appropriate? The Immaculate Conception and the birth of Jesus, coming through the Virgin Mary. That is a mystery, ain't it? That gives us so much to contemplate. And what does that represent? And all of that. So that is what we are going through. We are going through a mysterious rebirth, reborn, cleansing, and healing through allowing ourselves that cross. But when we can trust and surrender and we have faith and we have a relationship with God, Jesus, that lightens that. It literally physically lightens it up and symbolically lightens it up. So this is, what are you being called to create? I think we're just being called to create a new. We're being called to express and embody more of our own light and see how that expresses, see and how that takes form. And of course, as we are born again, or we are renewed, as we are cleansed and held in the arms of Mother Mary as well, and they're saying protected by Joseph as a masculine, we give life to new creation, new forms, new expressions. They're expressed, our creations, our physical creations come from us being born into this new frequency of knowing thyself, loving thyself, accepting thyself, and knowing that we are love. We're not separate from love. There's nothing but love. All right. The last card. I guess no one wanted to say anything. Oh, hey, Lauren. Now I see ya. Mito sounds like me back in the winter of 94. Oh, now I see you guys. I'll finish this before I read the comments. Oh my God, guys, I am blown away how I picked the cards, didn't read them, didn't know what they were, the channeled message, everything we talk about, the God and Goddess, angel of new life. Here we are birthed. We go through this cleansing transformation, greater self-love, based on by surrendering to our experiences, gaining that light, that love, and that allows us to be pure. So when we're being purified and cleansed, it's not that we're bad. No, it is the judgment of such things we're being cleansed from. We're being given unconditional love and insight as we allow ourselves to go through those challenges. The cross that our soul came to bear, to lighten up. And so the angel of new life is an exciting new chapter in your life is about to unfold. Doesn't get any better than that, right? She's embodied. She's illuminating this light, this fullness. Things have come full circle. Is that the moon on her head as well? And then merging from the lotus. So the moon is that which was, obviously the divine feminine, mysteries, things that have been hidden. Here it is here, birth, new birth mystery. And we got to kind of just surrender to that and allow the moon to show us, the sun reflecting on the moon to show us those mysteries revealed to us. Obviously, we all know lotuses grow in the mud and swamps. So we really need to trek through those times where we can't see through the mud or see out of the tunnel or feel like shrouded or carrying this heavy load. We needed to go through that in order to be freed into new life. Otherwise, we just keep being the same old, and that's okay. Like I was saying earlier, Bob wouldn't mind just being the same old and just enjoying life and not growing or expanding like that. But I don't think life's going to let him get away with that because he's been nothing but challenged by the family and all about me. So obviously I don't think we can be a human being and not be challenged. We might think we don't want it, but we're God's source energy and God grows. It's not stagnant. So as much as we fight and resist that growth, we're going to be dealt what we need to be dealt with to finally accept, surrender, and open up. So that lotus is opened up to that birth, that God or goddess, that divine feminine, which is allowance. It's receiving, not resisting. It's receiving. And then, of course, the sun is the masculine energy, that light and that taking action. But we're taking action through allowing. And then we are illuminating that light and love that we are. So many messages here. It's through we're being cleansed right now and purified, not because we're dirty, but because we have judged ourselves. We've been taught different things. We haven't known the love that we are in the physical. So we're going through those things. So we are revealed that. And then we're coming out all fresh and newborn. And this is taking us to a new development. Yeah, new development, but a new cycle. Is that not beautiful? I love that. An exciting new chapter in your life is about to unfold. Ah, so beautiful. All right. So thank you, Lauren, for joining. Thank you, Indiava. Serafina, thank you. I wanted to call her Sophie. I kept thinking Sophie. No, Serafina. Not everyone wants the same things. I wouldn't mind having a study. I know, sometimes I'm like, son of a bee man, I wish I wasn't so deep. Why can't I just be surface? Why can't I just be ignorant? And is that even ignorant? No, it's just living at that frequency. So absolutely, Lauren. I wouldn't mind having a steady life for a while myself. Absolutely. But chosen ones didn't come for that. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. The chosen ones came for that embodiment. It came for that journey. It came, even though the physical body, we have those cycles where we're called to pull back, rest, maybe hibernate for a while. Like I've been doing. I've been kind of hibernating. You can call it hibernating, even though my life's been whatever. I've been hibernating and pulling back from the output. But it's because I had nothing to put out. It's like I'm undergoing this to bring forth this, to create this. And that's part of the life cycles, right? It's part of life cycles. Hey, Wild Blue. Thank you. All right. It is just the way that you say it. Yes. Editing. Oh, here we go. Editing a book is not always the full. No, it doesn't. Not to the mind all the time. It's not. Sometimes the process doesn't feel unfulfilling, but that is exactly why we came. We're strong. We're courageous. It shows us what we believe in. It builds spiritual muscles, trust, faith. If things were handed on a silver platter, we would never have the depth, the knowing, the wisdom, the light that we hold. We came for the journey, not the end. The journey, not the end. Just like exercising to be, like if you want to be healthy sometimes, like Mythos this morning, that example, he didn't want to, he was fighting, he just wanted to go on his phone, and I questioned myself as a mom, okay, Marie, are you taking away his free will, or should he go for a walk? And I'm like, no, he needs to go for a walk. It's never killed him, and he always feels better. And then he had that excitement, and he says, I never felt so alive. So that was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful to hear him use his own words and say that. So it didn't feel good. My point is, it didn't feel good to be pulling himself away from his phone, get dressed. It didn't feel good. His human mind wanted to kind of play on the phone. And then I'm like, after that, you can have your time. So it doesn't always feel good, but the rewards are great. So we come in, before we come into earth, we're all excited as spirits and we're gung-ho. But till we get down in the nitty-gritty, we're like, what the F and why am I here? But when you surrender and let go, it is so enriching. And can you get to that, just living steady? Some people probably can. I just know my journey wasn't meant for that, because this is my excitement. It's my passion. I love to just share what I gain from that. Hey, Kim, good to see you, beautiful. Love your Christmas pictures you post. What little time I do go on, if whoever's in my feeds, your decorations. All right, guys. So thank you. Who knows when I'll be on again? But I did want to come on and share, because I was feeling and guided, and Jesus is just stepping in again. And whatever your belief is, he is saying whether you think of it as just spiritual energy or light or the Christ child, he is here for relationship with us. That it can't be separate from you. It isn't separate from you. Whatever label or name or definition you want to give it, it isn't separate from you. When you open up to that relationship, then all things are new again, he says. All things are new again. And that is the summation of the cards, of the message, of everything that I shared. Relationship with Jesus. And normally I would be shunned, because I would think normally, people only meet an outside. Jesus is one with us. He lives in our hearts. The outside reflection is representation of that journey, of that light, of the human path. And to be that light, to live that light, you have to welcome it. You have to be open to receive it. You got to receive it, to be it, to live it, to embody it. I used to, in my Taekwondo class, when I used to teach Taekwondo for fun, I used this example for the kids. And I'm like, I would always tell them their heart is a treasure chest, but we have to open it up to see what's inside. And I'm like, say you are cold outside and you had this blanket all folded, this nice cozy comforter all folded up. But if you didn't open it up and welcome it, you would not be able to use it if you didn't open it up, and it wouldn't provide you that warmth. So unless you opened up that comforter and covered up with it, you'd still be freezing. If we don't open up our treasure chest, we fail to have that relationship with our light, with our gifts, with that Jesus, God, Goddess collaboration and unity. So thank you guys for joining, and welcome that light. And I know I don't need to tell you guys that, because you're all chosen, you're all masters. Sometimes we get downtrodden because we are chosen. We know we've come for great things, but not in the worldly way, We came for that embodiment, and in order to embody that, that light is going to shine on all of the little dark spots that we have come. They're saying to hold in love, just to hold in love. All right, guys, may you all shine. Hey, Steph. And sharing is a blessing. Yes. When we share, we get the opportunity to have relationship with self. That's piggybacking. Thank you, Steph. That's piggybacking when Jesus stepped in and said relationship with him. And when we share, we get to receive that relationship with that outer engagement, with that collaboration. So sharing is caring, because it is actually the same as in relationship with him, which is love, which is light, which is your blessing, your light, your God, your goddess, your unconditional love expressed individually through your vessel. Shoo. May you all shine with the entirety of all the love and light that you are. Shoo.